Hello racing fans, welcome to a special event. Today we're at Mount Panorama. I'm here for work on a few days layover, and I thought I'd fill out some time by coming here and doing a lap of Australia's most famous racing circuit. I've done this once before several years ago. My family was a bit younger, and on the way here from Sydney, my younger son decided to projectile vomit all over us from the back seat twice. Anyway, today's event, I just thought we'd attempt this because it is open to the public. I've already sussed it out, or should I say there's no one stopping us from doing what we're about to do, and I can see a few enthusiastic individuals in various sporty looking vehicles. I can just feel, I can sense they really want to disobey the speed signs of 60 kilometers an hour and just open up in their sort of modified vehicles. But this vehicle is not modified. It is a very conservative 2017 Prado GXL, which, mind you, I could probably sell now for more than I bought it, because this is a lack of new cars in Australia and models people want. But this is the one we're doing it in today. It's a diesel. You can see here in the command center there's various dials, radio station, navigations tools. Over here we've got RPM, drivetrain status, kilometers traveled, and very optimistically kilometers we could go in this vehicle. It says up to 200. We've also got the GPS, and I've also got these driving gloves. Now, if you think, gee, you're a bit of a wanker turning up in your very boring family car to go around Mount Panorama and you actually bought yourself some gloves to do it, you would be wrong. Well, I am a little bit of a wanker, but not fully in that direction. These are for a skin condition I currently have, so it's just to protect me from the sun, and it's pretty unsightly. So I'm sure they will provide me extra grip as I take on Conrod Straight. So we're here at the main straight, and I'm about to do a bit of a lap. I want to try and time it so that all the other thrill seekers behind me, who are primarily a mix of like tourists and old grandmas and young punks who think somehow they're going to be able to, you know, hit 100 or 200 down the main straight here without being detected. I'm trying to get in between those guys. I think there's a gap in the traffic here. It's actually busier than I thought it would be. Chuck it right. One's coming. And here we go. Up the main straight. So basically we're on the grid. Today we're using GoPro 10. And this is what you get. I mean, I could give you a sense of this by maybe doubling or tripling the speed. I don't know what speed they get along here, like maybe 120, 130, 200. But I'm going to stick to 60. So we're going for our first corner here. Apex, big left-hander. The Shannons, I think they're a car insurance provider for classic cars. Giving it a bit of power with the diesel, the semi-automatic 5-speed. At a grand speed of 62 kilometers an hour, and looking like a massive tool commentating into my GoPro. But I'm enjoying the experience. It's a very fresh day here in Bathurst, and I think where I was yesterday was absolutely Antarctic conditions, and I think they said there was snow there overnight. Either way, it's actually part of a film that I'm doing, and that crew had to delay their departure because of snow and ice on the roads, I believe. So, you know, I did time this so I had someone, like a gap, but there's someone behind me gaining, so I actually feel technically like I'm in some kind of race. The red car, supposed to be doing 60 kilometers an hour, but there's something about Bathurst with this, it's got an alpine feel to it, with the breeze and the cold conditions. So we're going to go center. That was Mountain Straight, I think. Now we're coming up to this medium sort of right-hand turn. I think this track is like one way, so you can only go around one way, but I'm tempted to apex, but there's also that vague fear that there's going to be someone else behind me. So I'm making my way up here, ascending the hill, and this is fairly windy, but it's not as windy as the descent. I'm not even sure if they run it in the reverse direction. Right, up to Super Spirit Corner. Here comes a sweeping left. I'm going to use the word sweeping on every corner because there was a stick that just whacked the windscreen. This is definitely a tight left here, the Worth corner. Oh yeah, baby, the absolute limits of adhesion. Coming up, feels like a bit of a pop of the ears there is where, I don't know what the elevation is, but I was going to say maybe 1,000 feet. Coming up to the BP Ultimate corner. And that's a bit of a right-hander. Apparently there's some part of this mountain where you go under a tree. It's like a tree that hangs over the track. I remember that from previous commentary when I watched this like from the 80s. That's hilarious. There's a no right turn sign there. Why would I want to do that anyway? 60 kilometers an hour speed limit. Okay, there's a sign there. It says it's like dual way. You can go forward or back, but I wouldn't do that because everyone seems to be going the same way. And now we're going off to the left. But it's a very historical track, and anyone who's grown up in Australia just knows this is a huge event every year, Bathurst. Back in the day it used to be called like Hardy Ferodo 1000. Pertec corner here, chucking your left, a bit of a sand trap there in case you come apart. This is where you will come apart. This is where the real corners and the real excitement happen. And don't know if spectators are here for the skill of the driving or really for the crashes. What do you think? I reckon it could be both, but I feel it's like a 70-30 mix. 70 for the crashes, 30 for everything else. Right, there's the boys that were hooning around before. They've stopped, taking a photo. I'm gonna weave my way skillfully through these corners with my driving gloves on, providing extra stickiness. Gazoo corner here. I would drop down with a semi-automatic and do some gear shifting, but I'm just gonna be conservative because I'm holding the GoPro on a stick here. Oh, I got traffic in front of me. The Boost Mobile corner here. But this is the part of the track I always remember seeing cars flying down these corners. If you get it wrong, then you're going to come apart and you're going to end up upside down or hitting the wall. I mean, there have been fatalities in the past, especially with Conrod Straight coming up here. I think that's what it's called, where people have hit that at high speed or come apart. See, these are pretty tight corners down here, and they're just throwing the cars around. But I would not insult anyone by comparing my level of driving, what I'm doing now, with what happens on this race. There's a person up here actually walking on the track with their headphones on, I suspect, oblivious to the danger behind them. Under the Pirelli arch, and we're just going forward. A bit of traffic on the right there. Hope they can see me. Got people on the left, and the ears have popped again. And we're just zapping down the mountain. You can see all these concrete barriers on the left and right, because this is where overtaking moves are going to happen, and unfortunately things can come undone. But it's just a lovely, beautiful day. It's fresh. It's 5 degrees in Bathurst, but I'm liking it a lot. Okay, so the person in front of me is doing literally 58 kilometers an hour. So it's a bit boring, but technically it does feel like a bit of a race, like I'm getting into their head mentally. But I would say it's probably a grandma. Oh, it's so lovely here today. Look at those daffodils over there. Don't worry about that young fella behind us. He's just one of those hoons. In fact, there's 3 cars behind me and 1 obstruction in front. But with the blue gloves, it does just give it that extra edge to this video. And I just drift out a bit. I can make it look like I'm doing I should just run this whole video in triple speed. See, I'm gonna apex this corner, just snipping off the top of that corner, waiting for this individual to get their shit together. That hotel there, we stayed there when we came here last time, and It was pretty corporate hotel. It was okay. The view was okay, but I wouldn't want to be there at the peak of Bathurst because it'd be 6 million bogans sucking down Jim Beam, swilling it down, swimming in it, and then just making all sorts of comments. And here we go. We're at the end. So if you go, this is pretty much where it started. And if you look over here to the left, you can see where we began. And that, I hope you enjoyed it, is a circuit of Bathurst. I'm going to follow this grandma out of town. You take care.